Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Five. 7, 8.
Ooh.
11. 12. 8.
This WAFLW live stream is brought to you by Optus, proud partner of the WAFL and WAFLW. The West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams. Kia, proud partner of the WAFLW. This is Kia. Simply Energy, supporting WA Footy's talent pathway.
Welcome to Steel Blue Oval. No, that was last week. We are here at the mighty Mandurah, of course. Bit of fun early on. There's been some shenanigans in the box so far, but front row screens have got us up and going as they always do. And you're here at the former Rushton Park. It's David Gray Arena for the final of the ROGERS Cup. It is West Perth versus South Fremantle. It's a fine day. It's a beautiful day after a very cold week and wet. It's been a very, very cold and wet week to come apparently. So we've got a fast, hard, it's probably a fast and soft deck here. I've got a couple of experts in the box here with me, which we'll go to in a moment. These three teams have met 3 times. Of course, they met in the finals in week 1, and West Perth defeated South Fremantle 2-9 to 2-3, so 21-15 in the regular season. It's all been West Perth. South Fremantle managed a draw with them in round 12, and in round 6, which was the first time they met this year. It was a convincing win to West Perth. It's going to be a terrific match today in fine conditions, which we're absolutely relieved for. We've got smiles all around us here. We're going to come back after this little break just to preview the grand final today. ROGERS Cup, Western Australian Football League Women's Competition Final, the last game that these guys will play. A lot of them will graduate into the league ranks in 2022, and as I said, we will bring your intro after this break.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Rule 1. No internet searching.
New Optus Pause puts the Optus Living Network in your hands. It allows you to pause your Optus mobile and home Wi-Fi connections with one touch. Because sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
What can be broken but can't be held?
It starts with yes.
Here we are at David Gray's Arena. Teams just moving to position. You can see South Fremantle on your screen, just going through their final little relaxation methods. They're well coached this year by Craig Norton, and of course over at West Perth, coached by Steve Hazel. West Perth been building nicely. Haven't found themselves in this position in this grade to this date. Of course, they've got a couple of Resi's flags a number of years ago as they moved into the the old WAFLW competition and took a Resi's premiership before playing a league in that competition. Of course, they're building towards the league side there. Just getting in line here for the national anthem. The crowd has been asked to stand. Hopefully you can hear that on your effects mic. That could be Trevor Scorer. West Perth just getting in their line. They've got their whole squad out there, and there's been a flag, a couple of banners in the crowd that say 22 players for they're 32 strong. Sorry, the national anthem. For the players here today to be able to stand out there for the national anthem. Of course, also is a massive relief that they don't get the second chorus. Charmaine Rogers is in the box with us. I'll introduce our other very special guest today. But firstly, this is the Rogers Cup, Charmaine. It's fantastic to have you in the box for the competition, which is named in your honour as a trailblazer in female footy. What are you looking forward to today?
I think it'll be an exciting game of footy with two teams evenly matched, I think. Toss just happened and West Perth won the toss there.
Nelson Marsden, did you see too the hands behind the back too? So that young lady's played netball. The captain of South Fremantle's played a bit netball. Wilkins had their hands behind the back, ready to snatch the footy from the umpire's hands. See who got to choose which way to go. It's posing for photos. Also to my left here is Jeffrey Hayes. Jeff Hayes is coaches and has done a lot of work in the Peel region, but also coaches the Rogers Cup. So he was sitting in the box next door last week, but unfortunately just pipped at the post. Jeff, your tip for today?
Probably you'd have to go through West Perth because they've built really well all year. They've had 13 wins, 0 losses and 1 draw to date. They really have been the benchmark for the competition this year.
Of course, the team they drew with is out there against them today. South Fremantle haven't been able to take a win off them this year, but grand finals always produce special efforts, and I know that the extra week off wouldn't have hurt either. Apart from the fact they weren't able to train in that first week, this week would have been a lovely preparation for both sides. We're inside the South Fremantle huddle, so just imagine the kind of things that have been said in there. And you're going to get the old 1, 2, 3 South Fremantle, which is just a tradition that came from I don't know where, and I don't know what it does. It's just like, just in case everyone...
It's a rallying point.
It's a rallying point. I know the players like it.
Yeah, they do.
So you let them do it.
Yep.
But as a coach and as an administrator and as a commentator, I don't get it.
No. Maybe it's a basketball thing.
I think it is, but I think in basketball one of them calls 1, 2, 3, then they all say their name.
Okay.
Or they say defence on 3, 1, 2, 3, defence.
Yep.
Nah, just remind yourself what your team name is before every start of every game, the start of every quarter of players moving into position. There is some kind of bird that Jeffrey Hayes couldn't recognise, but we've worked out that it's a falcon.
Yes, it is a falcon,
on
no doubt.
That is a cumbersome costume, and I assume Dave Burton is in that.
Oh, he would live in that.
He would live in that. It's his PJs. He's just come in his onesie.
Rolled out of bed and...
Hopefully our cameraman can get a shot of the West Perth mascot at some stage today, and hopefully the South Fremantle Footy Club are rushing the Bulldog here right now. That looks like Rosie Anderson's taking her place in this team, number 25. The defensive sweepers position, very, very exciting player. A number of good players here. Stoppage, Arson doing some very good work early. No one touches the ball in the ruck, not, but extracting the footy, attempting to with South Fremantle. Marsden, first possession of the game, doesn't go anywhere. Runs over it the second time. Or just sort of bouncing around in midfield. Whitelaw's trying to get a hold of it. This is West Perth going forward by hands. A bit of a scrappy start, as you'd imagine, as the umpire comes in to sort that out.
It is quite wet underfoot out there.
I think there'll be a few stoppages today, which is pretty typical for a grand final.
Jeevna here out there, but I can't see her on my team sheet. That's the way she was running. That worked out. We're under a bit of pressure with the team sheets because we don't have them. This is the skipper from South Fremantle. First foray forward for the Bulldogs. West Perth trying to extract this through Kolodinsky. This is Jeevna here. She tumbles the ball forward, go inside 50 with a scrubbing kick. See Clements comes up to try and affect the contest. Driving the ball forward nicely, South Fremantle. Rosie Anderson's camped under this, takes a nice mark on the chest because Rosie Anderson, one of the players, was a premiership player from last year. Tara Garlett tried the day beautifully. This is a lovely inset mark for West Perth. Vander Heaver. Very well in the 17s games, Vander Heaver. This kick's a good one. Looking for Price. Leads the footy. She's turned her opponent nicely. Good work in. Vander Heaver arrives to support her own kick. South Fremantle trying to work this out now. Taking down to the tackle. Will the umpire see this? Roller. Defensive pressure again. That's Kelly. A strong player. Dara Kelly. No effective ruck tap again. South Fremantle working on the ground. Bundle out of it in the end. West Perth player. Rosie Anderson's hands again. Comes the ball towards 50. First there was West Perth coming in solidly to South Fremantle. Set upon now. Ball hasn't been unjarred free. And that stoppage there. And a couple of players picked themselves off the ground. As always, Charmaine Rogers, the ponytails just make things extra special for the commentary team.
Makes it difficult to see those numbers. I prefer the plats, but that's okay.
Always have to put a commentator's request in. It's not about us today, it's about the young ladies, of course. They're battling away here on the wing. South Fremantle trying to go forward. One inside 50 so far to West Perth. Nothing as yet for South Fremantle. This is more promising build-up. Tackle from Boothman is able to trap South Fremantle, at least for a moment, delay West Perth's exit. Little double touch. Finds Resetis. This is in the hands now of South Fremantle. Norton. State 15th rep this year. Kelly tries to extract his footy. Gets a little tap on the shoulder, that's enough. Tried to plough her way through there. So she's playing the footy. Awarded. Zara Kelly. Played on now, under pressure from Norton, and Norton always her feet. Coming from the side, put pressure on very good from South Fremantle. This is down towards Price, who taps it over the back. Getting a little run at this is Shearing. Trying to find her way to the footy, driving the ball out towards, from Bulldogs was good on as far as Kelly. Kelly goes straight back inside towards Shearing again, the ball tumbling towards the boundary line. It's kept in by the Bulldogs, it's brought it into the goals, but the umpire's called holding the ball. It's a play on call.
Play on advantage there.
Looks like it might have been, was it Price that got that one in?
Yep. Alyssa Price.
Alyssa Price, so decided to keep that ball in, deep in the back pocket, South Fremantle. Brought it into the corridor, Charmaine Rogers.
As a back player, the boundary line's your friend, isn't it? So maybe, I know we try and keep the ball in and encourage all of that, but sometimes you've got to play the percentages.
Sometimes you've got to pretend you're keeping the ball in.
That's right.
The game really frenzied at the moment, as you'd expect. A lot of energy on both teams.
A lot of energy and nerves always in the first part of the grand final.
One of the challenges, really, to try and settle the team.
Tap down this time. Ruck from West Perth doing the job very nicely. Moving the ball forward now. The West Perth Footy Club are inside 50 again. Alyssa Price will go kick up. Tracking this one nicely. It's getting towards the dead side. She tries to paddle it towards Shearing. Shearing now grabs that. She looks inside. It's a clever kick. Inside out. Here underneath the footy. It's fallen off hands and it runs over the line. Price with her pace putting a lot of pressure on South Fremantle already.
She's up and about, isn't she, Price?
Nice and quick, 18-year-old. Playing footy at West Perth for a long time now. Spent some time in the State Academy. Intelligently plays on. Bulldogs. Long kick towards 50. It's a good outlet kick. It's Vander here. Again, Kajivna here. Kicks the ball towards Price again. Shearing second in line. Clements comes in, tries to affect the contest. Shearing's got the handball over the top to Price. Price just handballs the ball underground. It'll be kicked from the kick-off line by Marley Turlin. Wonderful play. West Perth Footy Club. You can see that looks to be the men's footy club on the far side of the ground, bang against the fence, and that's wonderful little play from Shearing to pop the handball over to Turlin, and they've got two. Two was the total they kicked in final one.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pressure on South Fremantle backline at the moment, and the girls down the backline for South are not seeming to find the ball.
Always makes it difficult with repeat entries, doesn't it? With the backline under pressure like that, just can't get a breather.
Pressure kicking towards the corridor was neat as well. Much to go at it again. 2 goals, 1-13. West Perth Footy Club have jumped the Bulldogs here. A lot of work for the Bulldogs do to get back into this game. They're back to McNaughton. Little handball just misses her target. To do some more work again. Little kick's okay. Intercepted. Plays on immediately. Not sure that's the order of the day. It's touched off hand, so called to play on as well. The back feed from West Perth is terrific to find the corridor. The kick's okay towards Kelly, who does put it on the ground at the end. Coming through. Getting one in the middle of the back in the end. South Fremantle, and there's a high tackle in the hands of Emily Boothman. Boothman plays on through the corridor. Got the pink boots on today. A number of different colours that she runs. Over the back's pretty good. Played on. Probably should have had a little breath. Not sure the mark was paid. Ball inside 50 for South Fremantle for the first time today. West Perth got a chance to clear. Price beats her opponent again. Just goes past her. Tackle is very good in the end from Holly Denham. Leading back in the race now is Darcy Clements, experienced footballer. Some injury issues in the last 2 years. She hits the ball towards the boundary line. It should be enough for South Fremantle to get a ball up or a boundary throw in the forward pocket. Now that's great transition play, Jeff Hayes.
They're certainly linking up beautifully in the midfield there, and the long kicks from the West Perth sort of half-back line and midfield help out enormously to get the jump and get that ball behind the defenders.
Been very impressed with Price so far.
Been her opponent really well then, didn't she?
Yep.
Probably just setting things up, taking his time to make sure that rucks are in the right spot. It's a good throw in, nice and high. Trying to take it out of the ruck. West Perth ruckman, or West Perth ruck I should say. Good again, a couple of chances to excellent footy. Locked in the end by West Perth. Rucks are warmed up now, that's here. She feeds it off to Price. Price is up and about. She ends up kicking it to the goalkeeper from South Fremantle. Just waiting in the box. It's like Athena Mendoza. She's kicking towards the top of 50. Worked under the footy nicely. No. She's actually got it into the back a little bit. Really long play there at full back.
Yes, right, I think.
It was Abby, yeah, very similar. It's very similar players, very composed players. Abby Reach. Oops. Dump tackle. Very physical. South Fremantle got themselves up and about. Yeah, Abby Reach, very young player, just 15. Stood up tall in the State 17s games a month ago. She's gone, lovely tap from West Perth into the hands of the South Fremantle sweeper, who had a little moment to get rid of the footy and didn't manage to do so. Emily Boothman remonstrating with the umpire there, but fair call. This has hit Darcy Clements on the foot, call that a kick, sock it off the ground, trying to get some grass off West Perth at the moment. Perth's pressure around the footy is just not allowing South Fremantle to get anything done, and it's another holding the ball decision. And it's in front of the West Perth crowd on the far side, which looks like the men's team have turned up on the bus. Have I got that right or have I got that wrong? There is 30.
Well, they do seem to be rather young. Let's say it's the Colts team.
So it's the Colts team.
Great support by the club as a whole.
Wonderful, they're doing a good job down at West Perth, as they are at South Fremantle. Eddie Atkins has changed things down there, that's for sure. It's a long kick in from Turlin. She's got the distance, and has she kicked it straight? I didn't give her much of a chance, but such a wonderful strike of the ball. And it's 3 goals, 1, and Turlin's got 2. Price with 1, putting all the pressure on the opposition, and it's West Perth just with repeat entries. Charmaine Rogers, you called that pressure of those repeat entries, but also the ball movement and fast entry is dangerous too.
Absolutely. I think South's just needed a little bit of composure from here. Maybe get take a mark, get a free kick, and just settle things down a bit and look for some short options to possess the ball for a little while, just to give their teammates, particularly the backs, a bit of a breather.
I think they're sort of playing on too quickly when they've got the opportunity to take a bit of time and look for an outlet player rather than just kicking to a contest.
Well, those situations where perhaps the game's dictating the speed that the Bulldogs want to go to, they just take the speed off. Norton getting her hands on the ball often inside the corridor. Not much help at the moment for her as Amanda Heaver just tries to go through the corridor again. She's up and about too. Strong player, puts her head and shoulders over the football. This mark is intercepted nicely on the far side. That ball wraparound is neat. In the hands once more of Van der Heaver. Long ball up towards the top of 50, centre half forward region. 2 Bulldogs fighting 1 West Perth player. Handball release into the corridors. A clever one, finds the skipper. She kicks it straight into the corridor. Camped under the footy there was Jackson. Couldn't finish the mark, and she's in a little bit of trouble now. Umpire said that was held in. Here on our effects, Mike, and the South Fremantle crowd read that one.
Yeah, I don't think they agreed.
Into the game early. South Fremantle ruck there late. She had a good influence on the contest when she did arrive. Boothman lurking. Use her speed on the outside. You can see the foreground there in the great spots are here. High tackle in the end. It's with Nelson Marsden, the skipper from West Perth. Busy player. Honest, hard-working midfielder. Long ball into a dangerous position's okay. South Fremantle weren't tracking the ball, they were tracking their players. The handball inside's good to Shearing, and it goes outside once more. Got ball is on the flying shot. This is an amazing start. That's Caitlin Thomas, just receives the ball on the left-hand side of the ground and uses her right foot to split the middle. And this is a remarkable start from West Perth. It's all downhill and downhill fast towards the West Perth end. Wonderful handball release goal. That is wonderful play.
They do have the benefit of a slight sort of breeze heading towards the forum end, but yeah, I don't think it's quite 4 goals.
I like the forum end. I like that.
That's a local, isn't
That's
it?
a local.
Yeah.
Bit of local knowledge.
Yeah. I think South Fremantle's have been drawn into the contest and not had any structure behind the ball. West Perth seem to have been set up quite well there.
Yeah, their wings were beautifully placed in that last couple of contests.
Yeah, Whitelaw for South Fremantle. Just starting to get some real contact in at this ruck jumps. Goes again. This time West Perth, the two-handed tap down was Henderson. Struck in the footy nicely. What will the umpire call? Off the ball. Just been held outside the stoppage. And he was just trying to find who to give that to, and it's McNaughton. Ahead of her. Kick towards the middle of the ground. Worked okay for Whitelaw. She can't get away. In the end, she handballs okay. It will arrive. In the end, it was the skipper from South Fremantle, Elborello. She can't do enough to get the ball inside 50. She'll get a chance at the stoppage here. Whitelaw again. Good tap this time to Boothman. She tries to step inside. Releases the handball okay. Looks like Tuakarana lurking. Forward 50. West Perth backs have been okay too. This ball will go out through Grassinis. First to arrive. Boothman offloaded it. Sorry, it was Darcy Clements offloaded the player on the way to the ball. That was here. Dropped the ball as she tried to come through the stoppage. Fortunately, while being tackled. It's in the hands of Jivna here.
I think that's Luke down off the ball there.
They're just a cork play down behind play. Hopefully just a little corky, but it's trainers are with her now. Back inside West Perth's forward 50, which is where they've been super impressive. Long kick in's a beauty, and it's dropped on the line. That's a kick from 45 metres. Was it Chloe Shearing? I was actually having a look at who was going to come at the foot.
There was nobody in the goal square, and the ball just scooted through. That goal umpire had nothing to do besides just watch it go past him.
It's a player on screen. Chanel Scott picks it up with the right foot and punts the ball in from 45. Bounces on the goal line and she goes to flex. Wonderful work, Chanel Scott. There is 4 goal kickers for West Perth in this first quarter. And Scott becomes the 4-2 to Turlin, 1 to Price. Thomas and now Scott joins the party. 5 goals, 1. Which the entire score of the first semi-final has been kicked in the first quarter by West Perth. Back in the middle. Nice jump from Holly Morris, West Perth. Ball spits forward, tackled on the shoulder. The umpire had a great look at it on our side of the ground. Was able to make that call. Noah McNaughton really trying to drive her team forward at the moment. Moves the ball around inside 50. A decent entry. West Perth come at the ball nicely. That's here. Trying to extract the footy. It's Grassinis again 3 or 4 times. Just been able to chop the ball forward for West Perth. 2 on 3. West Perth win out. Nice long kick forward again by them towards the boundary. Might have enough on it actually here to get the boundary umpire here in the game on the far side for the first time.
Gets the lasso out. We like the lasso, don't we?
I like it when Greg Gilby's a ripper. He really demonstrates how to get it done. And it's when the young man on the far side there was able to actually get into a half Scott, which I really like. Get the quads going, get the lasso up. Meanwhile, Naomi Norton's kick's been chopped off at half-back again by West Perth. The West Perth half-back's doing the job nicely. It's a beautiful kick in the centre of the ground. Lovely bullocking work by Tananeff just to get her opponent off the footy. And that's a neat catch by Boothman. Boothman at the moment. Great.
He's thrown her forward.
McNaughton would like 3 or 4 of her on the ground just at the moment to get a settle in. This is a nice long ball into full forward. Has to stop. Raking at the back's okay. Picks up the footy below the knees. Tries to get in. Loses it. The second shot's good from South Fremantle. They've surrounded it. It's number 4 for South Fremantle, and she kicks it up over her shoulder around the corner. It's Molly O'Hare. Well done, young lady. That is a terrific snapshot from the top of the box.
Well, that's going to give South Fremantle a lot of confidence coming up towards the first quarter break.
But O'Hare puts South Fremantle on the board in the first quarter.
Good pressure around the ball there for South, able to lock it in and get some shape around the contest. So, no, really, really well done.
It's really important from Pinner there too. She was able to put her hands up and bring the ball to ground. On screen, goal kicker from South Fremantle. Just having a breather. Good long kick in from Emily Boothman. Neat work in the build-up from Noah McNaughton. A bit of work going into opponents here. Inside the box. Sullivan had a chance. So inside the circle. Sullivan had a chance to extract the footy. Just couldn't quite find the handle at the last moment. Now we'll get a repeat bounce. Let's go at it again. And brought out. Definitely a set play to play this side. Sticks up Van der Heever again. Puts her head and shoulders over the footy, confronted by the Bulldogs. We've actually got it going West Perth's way. West Perth said, thank you very much, we'll get this on inside 50. Shearing leads the race back. It's Reach putting pressure on her. Reach really works that back hit nicely. Turland just assessing the situation. She's got a couple of different options, and in the end she was spoiled for choice and she went over the boundary line.
Great pick up there by number 3, Jasmine Kondolinski in the centre square there. Just got the body down nice and low. Got the ball up and then got it inside 50 nice and quickly for them.
Exactly what she was going to do, didn't she? As soon as she got that ball in the corridor, going inside 50. Neat work. 10 seconds to play. 5 goals, 1-31 to 1 goal, 6. 18-minute quarters here. Rogers Cup still playing 18 on. Siren due. You can hear a couple of alarms going off, and now the siren does go. So what an entertaining first quarter from West Perth. 5 goals, 1-31. Almost unheard of at Rogers Cup level, but each year we get to sit here and say, well, this year we get to say it to Charmaine Rogers, this competition just gets better every year, and this grand final game has really, during the year you get 2 goals 9 and 2 goals 8, and in the grand final got 5 goals 1, and South Fremantle managing to score against the flow of play as well.
Well, West Perth were up and about, weren't they? I mean, both teams, but as with grand finals, you know, the energy level at the first bounce is extraordinary and can make a big difference. Just
seems that West Perth might have settled early. There's a way back, and we'll talk about that after the break here at quarter time. It's 5 goals, 1-31 to 1 goal, 6 points. So here the goal kicker from South Fremantle, while there's been 2 from Marley Turland, 1 from Melissa Price, who was really good in that first quarter. Thomas and Scott have also got 1 each. Wonderful start from West Perth. South Fremantle will have to go to the drawing board, start defensively, get some ball out of the middle. We'll chat with our experts about that when we get back from break.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Rule 1. No internet searching.
New Optus Pause puts the Optus Living Network in your hands. It allows you to pause your Optus mobile and home Wi-Fi connections with one touch. Because sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
What can be broken but can't be held?
It starts with yes.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Screens, David Gray's Oval here. We're in the South Fremantle huddle where things are a little more desperate than they'll be over at the West Perth huddle. Steve Hazel has got his group in around him while South Fremantle's still broken up into their lines. Plenty to do for them in this match and plenty of time to do it with 80-minute quarters. Young players can move the ball quite quickly. Number 22 on screen, Emily Boothman. Important in the first quarter, Jeff Hayes. What does she need to do?
Well, she needs to find the ball more. Obviously, she got a couple of kicks out of the middle there for a few times, and then she seemed to go on the half-forward line, and she was the person who put the ball deep into attack when they actually scored their goal. So, yes, she is very influential, and, yeah, to see the ball in her hands more times would definitely help South Fremantle out.
Should potentially consider getting the ball to her more often as well. She's a noted goal kicker. She's kicked goals at state level as well. Very, very good, fast outside player. We're deep in Steve Hazel's huddle. We're trying to pick a few players out for you, but we wanted to have a chat about, but we haven't got a chance to. Steve is driving his message home with the girls about what he'd be pretty proud of. You can see Alyssa Price there, number 16. Really provided some energy in that forward 50. Marley Turley's on her right. Front there, dead centre, is Zara Kelly. And onto the ground here, South Fremantle. Looks like Tim Marley just directing all the shots there.
I've got a few of the stats from the first quarter. Over the inside 50s, West Perth were well on top, 8-1. But then, of course, that's a great conversion rate for South Fremantle.
This is a really long chat from the head coach, isn't it?
With the clearances, West Perth were definitely dominating the taps there with 6-2. But I had South Fremantle ahead 5-2 on the clearances. But certainly once they got the ball initially out, West Perth seemed to turn around on their half-back line and then get it back and going their way.
I think West Perth's structure has been really good. And that's probably the difference between them able to maintain possession of the footy.
When you see the ball go into the West Perth's forward line, they definitely have their wings in some terrific positions, just there waiting to hoover the ball up if the defence gets on top.
Charmaine, there's Noah McNaughton getting a kick away there.
She's had a great game already for South. I don't know where they'd be without her and tenacity around the ball for all of that quarter. So, yeah, I think once Souths get the ball in their hands, they just need a bit of composure and they can turn things around here.
Rosie Anderson was definitely getting a lot of the ball early on in that first quarter, but she sort of faded out after the first 5 or so minutes.
You know, enjoy that on your Facebook feed. The flex there from Scott after the long bomb in. That's Marley Turl, and as she walks out, very important player for West Perth, very highly skilled, very clean hands. A lot of time at the State Academy, I would imagine, be flirting with the position in the 18s, W18s team in 2022. A very dangerous player, and the luxury of having Marley Turl forward for Steve Hazel is awesome because she's played in the midfield for a long time. Limping off the ground here, Jeff Hayes has picked up.
Yeah, Luke Marsden has just once again had a bit of a problem. She went down in the half-back line and had to be escorted from the field, and she was going out there ready to set up, and something went wrong, and she's now coming off looking very uncomfortable indeed, and they're having to organise a few quick changes onto the far wing.
Wilkins going in, 21. Darcy Clements, very experienced player, played some league footy at South Fremantle, had some injury issues this year, very strong. She's got a very fast opponent. Well, Darcy Clements is very quick herself, so she's going to have to impose herself on this game at centre half back. I think, Charmaine, if South Fremantle can start building from half back.
Well, that's where all attacks start from, across your half back line, isn't it? So, yeah, they just need to get their hands on the footy.
Array again, South Fremantle ruck. Right, well, very aggressive. This tap went to Sarah Henderson and pulled it down, diving on the footy in the middle and then shoveling it out. West Perth's okay. gone any way forward either team as yet. South Fremantle look a little more desperate. Rosie Anderson's been called for a little push in the back of Morris. Been strong in the ruck. Long kick towards 50. It's going to make Jeevna stop. She does. Rosie Anderson picks up the crump, tries to shovel the ball out. Of course, Rosie would have arrived from Narrogin this morning. A couple of hours in the car, play a grand final. It's okay to take some time to settle. Trying to go back inside there was Chloe Boothman. This ball's long from Turland again. Already having an influence in this quarter. Trying to drop back in the weight. South Fremantle defenders a mass. Good handball release, and it's probably the best exit that Souths have had so far. Unfortunately,
no representation out there on the wing. Unfortunately,
it is 6-0. Had time to fumble the ball several times before Thomas was able to handball the ball to a teammate. He held just off the football. You can see clearly the tug on the jumper, which makes it really easy for the umps to make that call. It's worth it going in again. It's to be Kelly on the far side. Ball's bouncing to a dangerous position for South Fremantle. They have the numbers. Looks like reach. Handled when she might have kicked. She's tossed out of it in the end. Running away with the footy. Trying to find a connection in the middle of the ground. South Fremantle have turned it over, unfortunately, to Kolodinsky. Kolodinsky's kick nearly intercepted over there. Had time to appeal for a free kick or the mark and then get a kick away anyway. But West Perth are controlling the perimeter very nicely. Then a beautiful little kick at half forward. There's no one standing her mark. Be able to trot towards 50 and just lift a kick towards the goal square. My apologies. Alyssa Price. Kick goes across the far side of the ground. In pursuit. South Fremantle arrive first, but fumble. Able to be pushed off the footy there and then handball inside.
South had the numbers there at that contest.
Smother in the end has kept West Perth's in it. South Fremantle working very hard. Look to be a little more settled already in this quarter. There's Norbury, Megan, can't quite find the handle. It's towards Thomas, goal kicker in the first quarter. It's Perth's energy, tipping this ball forward, tackled without the ball. She just sort of paddled it rather than possess it. The pressure of Turland's performance so far has meant that she's been tackled.
She's been outstanding again this quarter, at the start of this quarter. She had a very good first quarter and continuing on with it in the second.
We've got a hold downfield in the square.
Interesting. So Turland was lining up for a shot. She wasn't without a chance from 40. She has to hand the ball over, although she's come forward 6 metres on the mark though, so that's very interesting. The kick was for a holding of the jumper ahead of the play. She's probably trying to hold some space out. Rosie Anderson, little toe poke's okay. I thought that was okay. Umpire didn't like the fashion of it. Said it was a little dangerous. And Rosie Anderson being very nice and going to give him the ball for a West Perth opponent. She's actually thrown it to South Fremantle. So it should be 50. Let's just bide our time here in the commentary box. No one knows what's going on, but in the end, the ball's handed to Norbury. Egan, of course, her sister plays. Neat little connection to the top. Missed in the end by Kolodinsky. Being held off the footy again. South Fremantle. Ironic cheers. I don't think the umpires have featured in West Perth's dominance of the early parts of this game. It's been purely the ball handling and the structure. It's with Van der Heever and forward again to Jeevna here. Tracking her reach. Doesn't do enough to get that ball out of his hands. Strong grab. He immediately sort of faked right and pulled the ball towards Price. A little too far for her. It's been called for a block, which was an interesting decision, and it's going to be in the hands of South Fremantle. I thought it might have been an unrealistic attempt, perhaps. Here, sorry, that's Van der Heever. Goes over her. West Perth are able to mop this up. The hands of Kolodinsky again.
You see they just set up all right.
A great little outrider out there. Is that Wilkins that's been playing wide? Because she's had 3 or 4 possessions in dangerous positions. This is a terrific mark ahead of the play. That's Chloe Shearing.
Yes, it was Wilkins.
So Chloe Shearing is a young player who's really standing up in a big game. Debuted in just this year, played 14 games. Got her age on this particular sheet. I think she might be 15 years of age. Tall, strong player. It's a nice, strong kick. Just a little shallow on the far side.
Yes, 15, that's correct.
15 years of age. She's played a bit of 17s footy. She attributed herself quite well in that. That's a nice contested mark. A good signs for West Perth and that young lady. Even Western Australian footy, because that'll have Ellie Lampkin really happy with the prospect of shearing moving forward. This is Van der Heeve. Speaking of being happy with a player, Van der Heeve is all energy and effort. There's plenty of skill there too. Her tackle enables us to turn the ball over towards Wilkins. This is Kelly now, tracking the ball nicely. Tries to pull inside. She's got a runner. Can't quite get away. This occasion here, Kolodinsky. She's been busy this quarter. Ball in the hands of the South Fremantle defenders again. Boothman's come a long way out from half forward. She's got Price, 2 speedsters. Little shove on the side was good from Boothman. Then she couldn't pick it up. That brings Price back into the game, and Price is able to tackle Boothman and 2 quality players from either side involved in a tangle inside 50.
Norton tackling well there at centre half back.
Good to see South trying to move it to the fat side of the ground, get the ball out into space and use their runners.
Nice play, nicely played by Chloe Boothman. Just tracked the line, gave herself time before she could pick it up. Boothman turned inside and was stripped of the footy. Both her sisters there in the action, so Chloe's going to stand the mark. Emily Boothman very clever, let the little sister take the mark and the free kick she gave away. Playing on inside is nice.
Might not be the first time that's occurred in the family.
Chanel Scott going forward but intercepted. That kick didn't go where it was meant to go. Jeevna here is able to take it on the chest. Darcy Clements looks at the floor, look over her shoulder and say, mate, she's good enough without kicking it to her. But it was an accident. Can't really get too upset with skill errors. Marking the ball beautifully, but playing on immediately and turning the ball over. South Fremantle looking for Wilkins on the far side again. Gee, she's owned the wing in this quarter. Trying to wrap around her on the other side there is Jackson. Was Jackson in the end, plays onto the pocket. To Kelly, big tangle of the bodies go to ground on the far side. West Perth Colts boys have changed ends.
I've just noticed that, yes, following their team strongly, aren't they?
A mate of mine's grandfather used to set his deck chair up behind the goals. His grandson was a full forward and he wasn't there to watch us. He was there to watch his grandson. I was put on the clinic too. The young man, Rosie Anderson, Skittles hurt. Goes through Kolodinsky as well.
Great attack on the footy.
Pick up from Noah. It might be 15, so she came to the State Academies. State Academy became aware of her at 13. In the Metro Development Squad program. Try to drive the ball forward here. West Perth and South Fremantle have definitely grown a leg in this quarter.
Well, if McNaughton could get the rest of the team on her back, she'd drag them forward. That was a fantastic attack on the footy.
That was a great kick too. Unfortunately, just can't quite get a handle of that. The two West Perth players hurt each other in the end. Good block from behind the footies, allows this to have a shot. Just have to get that, but tracking back beautifully is the goalkeeper for West Perth, and she's able to touch that ball in her hands. Did you see who did that block, Jeff?
No, I didn't, sorry. I wasn't watching that area of the field. But Noah, as we mentioned, has had a blinding last 3 minutes.
Playing on intelligently. The outrider here for West Perth. It's Claire Norbury. Goes further than that. Actually kicks the South Fremantle in. Now Claire Norbury gets involved. To Van der Heeve. To Henderson. Spills through to here. Here connects with Kelly. She turns her player inside out, and Kelly's going inside 50. Waiting there's Shearing. She's been strong, playing on reach. Reach is good enough there to get the ball to ground. And there seems to be the ability, or hopefully, for South Fremantle to be able to rebound the ball here, and they do nicely. And they've got some numbers ahead. Can this one be taken? It can't. Split it back from Indy Strom. Indy Strom's now tracking the footy. Van der Heeve again. Connects. Little kicking connection's okay. Rosie Anderson. Bullocking tackle. Now, I reckon there was a play-on call and a holding the ball and a pushing the back call from the umpires all at once. Definitely did carry her forward, but the temptation there was to give that holding the footy very intelligently. Caitlin Thomas looks inside and finds Stagg. Stagg kicks towards Wilkins again. Steve Hazel very cleverly dropped her on the far side of the ground. She carries the ball to 50. This lifts the ball up to give her forwards a chance and also gives the defenders a chance to come in and spoil. Chopping the ball off the ground, intelligent. Immediate play on those happening from South Fremantle. I think they need some composure in the back half. Well set up in front of the footy, or behind the footy in this case, was West Perth, but pulling the ball out and getting a forward 50 inch was Pinner. She finds the chest of her teammate at 50. She's just intelligently waiting for some numbers to gather in front of the play. The kick is a good one. It goes over the back. How will it bounce? It's bounced towards the points and it's shoved in over the line. Nice mark taken by Garbellini, I think it was.
I think that may have been the same player that provided the block in the previous South entry as well.
The pace on the tackle too. Yeah, she's up and about Garbellini. It's a beautiful kick to outlet. Unfortunately, chest marker's missed on the far side. Brings South Mantle into the game. South Mantle trying to drive this ball inside 50. Back feed from South favours West Perth. West Perth trying to just chop off a little kick into the corridor. As a look around, it's Rosie Anderson. Might have done enough to make people aware of who she is and what she can do. Last couple of efforts in play. Really well set up defensively. Nice little gather. Oh, a little quick step was wonderful from Garlett. Gets inside. Looks like Van der Heever again. She carries the ball after a bounce and gets shoved after she kicks it, unfortunately. Emily Boothman just being a bit overzealous. She put in a really hard chase and then just felt she was entitled to make some contact, of course. So the players disposed of it. Not entitled to touch them at all. The resultant relayed free kick in the hands of Anthony. Running over the footy there, Strom. Oh, a little bit of candy trying to fight inside. And it's Van Gabrielli. Down to that wet South Fremantle player. It's like Gabrielli, but it's just the colour of the boots that's thrown me. Coming the ball the other way, it's Claire Norbury. She's trying to find a kick in the corridor. Bit of high contact. Kolodinsky had to stand and take her medicine, which she did. Her kick's good, she finds here. But it arrives a little late. Some sound effects from the West Perth box. I'm not satisfied with what's going on. Pretty comfortable in the grand final if I was coaching West Perth at the moment. That's here, chopping the ball forward once more. Mystery footy, Turlin just goes this way and that. In the end, she goes no ways, and she's probably dropped that footy in the end. But I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Shovelled across from Clements. Below the knees is clever. Some of these South Fremantle defenders have been asking a mountain of work already. Running hard as Boothman. She's hard to beat in the situation. That's a good tackle. She releases the ball. She's actually trying to fight to her feet again, which is good. There's Porter coming the other way. Handball back outside, probably brings Souths back into it again. Can't quite get to the contest as Tage Sullivan. Rosie Anderson chops off for footy and she puts a bit of composure on the game.
Yeah, this
Can't
is what
know
we
that she
need.
needs her back to but there's no one on the mark now, so West Perth encouraging her to play on. She does. She goes along with a wobbling punt. It gets over the back. Sitting there's Gabriellini. What she can do, she chops the ball forward by foot. She comes again. She's got no support. Tackled in the end without it. Tackled again without the footy. South Fremantle will get the free kick. It'll be in the hands. Is that number 8? Number 8. Which is not Poppy Stockwell, but on our team list here.
18.
It's 18, is it? My apologies. It is Jess Howley, and her kick's okay. Gets over to the back towards forward 50 and thrown out of the contest there. A bit of high contact. Young lady who has got beautiful hair that covers her number. We'll get a good look at her in a moment.
Number 12.
Number 12. This is Jage Masika. Usually a good kick of the footy, Masika. Very kickable, gets close to the man on the mark. In fact, close to the person on the mark, I should say. Kicks it into her hands. Doing very well with Stagg, stood her ground. 2 fists on it. She now provides a block for a teammate, which actually brings South Fremantle into it. It's Pina again. She's been okay, scooping on the ball. Kick out of contest there. Looked like it was Alyssa Bryce. If she has, she's gone into the ball. West Perth move the ball. Fashion we've seen today. It's Henderson finding the bouncing ball nicely. It's the ball across to Porter. Porter looking for a short connection. It's not going to go far enough. It's going to fall in the hands of Del Barella. Can't get her kick away. Now running with the footy is Jackson. Hits it long towards the top of 50. Shearing's turned her opponent. Turlin's there as well, playing really closely. The South Fremantle defenders as reach. It's now a foot race between Price and the South Fremantle opponent, who does get a foot to the ball in the end, which was Holly Denham. Desperate defensive work. She's got her hands full again now. She finds a handball. Can't quite get the handle on it. It's reach, inside, outside. It's kicked it up towards West Perth. Umpire was calling play on it. It wasn't a drop mark, just a fumble in general play. The driving kick will favour West Perth again, so they've got a chance to reload. This is the 3rd entry. This is the pressure Charmaine Rogers identified in that first quarter. Pushing the ball down in front. South Fremantle chuck the ball towards the top of 50 again. This is Jackson once more. Inside, outside kick should fall on the chest of South Fremantle defender in Hart. She can't complete the mark. She's done some good work on the ground. Kicking to the top of 50 again. Chopped off by West Perth. A long ball in, but they've got the goalkeeper in. That could be a long way from us with her back turn. Looks like Young Boothman, and the kick's okay. Just overrun it now. Got a problem again. West Perth just fierce at the top of 50. Thrown out of the pack without the footy, unfortunately, was Hayley Porter, and in the end, what a fierce tackle. She'll take a moment just to gather her wits. That was Palomino. We're letting her frustrations just get the better of her.
Once again, those inside 50 entries continuously from West Perth were a result of their structure around that 50-metre arc.
That's exactly the type of tackle too we're trying to get rid of. It's a throw.
Yes.
So just a stronger opponent able to lift a player off the feet. So even if she had had the footy, still would have been a kick. And she looks like she's going to have 5 or 10 minutes of a headache here. Hopefully no lasting issue. Morris has taken her kick. Taking some time to get off the ground. Morris, flat kick in, she tries to lay it up. It gets into a dangerous position again. Reach finds a way, but she can't get a connection with any South Fremantle players. Goes through the hands of Thomas and into the hands of Anderson. Anderson gets a little nick on that one. Ball outside's okay. Wants Johnson. And towards Hughes, who I've been referring to as Peter. My apologies, Hughesy. She's trying to find the handle now. She's got herself a chance at a shot. This is Hughes. She pulls it inside off the shin and gives a good look at it to the West Perth defence. Doing the job there was Emma Lilford.
Hopefully now South can keep it locked in their forward 50 and get some good opportunity to score.
Are they outnumbered in there? South's outnumbered in their forward 50. I think they are.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some extras out at the top of the square.
The ball loose. To do some strong work over the ball here. This is Boothman, always clever in the last minute of this area of the ground, and just letting go of the footy there. Unfortunately, it's Chelsea Harp. Boothman looked set to launch, so maybe no more scores. So Harp's done a great job of a smother. Gets it towards Boothman. She's got a lot to confront. Rosie Anderson's pretty special at different times. This ball's gone long and deep. Can we get a chest? We can for West Perth. South Fremantle lurking. Down there was Seeker. Looks to be a good safe kick towards the boundary. It's going to go out top of 50. The umpire
lasso's up.
Gives it the swing, but no hip or knee bend there.
That was, yeah, we need a little bit more input in terms of the lasso, don't we?
We've got to really get involved with the lasso. This kick going in final seconds of the game. Or sorry, final seconds of this quarter or the half. This is Gracias emerges with the footy. She always goes long and straight with her kick. She looks towards Price, who takes the safety. And probably has now just saved West Perth from a chance of getting scored against in the last moments of this game, as South Fremantle had built some terrific entries long and deep. 5 goals. It was a 6-goal first quarter, and it was a no-goal second quarter. The pressure in the game went right up.
It was very open play there as well. We had hardly any stoppages.
Lots of marks in the back of the goal square.
There's be some very tired young ladies out there, I'd suggest.
And some stress too. So there's a couple of apologies. So you see Emily Boothman's actually gone to Nelson Marsden and gave her a cuddle. Marsden's got her boots off. Hopefully we can see the young lady emerge in that fierce tackle at the half to make sure that she can continue her grand final. But it looks like she's twisted that knee. As you can see on your screen, West Perth 5 goals to 32 to South Fremantle 1-8. We're at half time of the grand final in the Rogers Cup. I'm in the box with Charmaine Rogers and Jeff Hayes as well. Charmaine, of course, fantastic advocate. And there is the Falcon. Thank you very much to our cameraman, very sharp on that. It is an interesting costume. It's some kind of red crossed with a brown, sort of maybe even a Jarrah Falcon.
And I think we can confirm that it's not Dave Burton, given that he can't be in 2 places at once.
I want that to be Dave Burton, and I want to believe that it's Dave Burton, even though I can see Dave Burton in the pink silks, and I can see the cardi on the screen. Wonderful work from our cameraman. You can see the ground filling up with punters having a kick at half-time of the GF. South Fremantle taking their team way down into the far side of the ground, both teams staying out. We're at half-time with front row screens who've delivered some wonderful action from all sort of from a female perspective this year in terms of the State Academy games, the 17s, the 18s, and of course week to week in our WAFL game as the Peel reserves team comes on for a crack. With front row screens, it's half time to wrap up everything that we've seen so far and to predict some magnificent coaching moves in the second half will be Jeff Hayes and Charmaine Rogers, Turn to you to David Graves after break.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Rule 1. No internet searching.
New Optus Pause puts the Optus Living Network in your hands. It allows you to pause your Optus mobile and home Wi-Fi connections with one touch. Because sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
What can be broken but can't be held?
It starts with yes.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
We're back here at David Gray's. You've got highlights on screen. That's a terrific goal to West Perth. You can see Noah McNaughton up at about a plethora of goals in the first quarter. In fact, we had 6 snags in the first quarter. A couple even crumbed, so nothing like a crumbed snag. But how do you see best players, I guess, at the moment? I'll go to one side then the other. I'll go to you, Shami. Who do you think's had the big influence at West Perth?
I think, Price was a little quieter that quarter, but Turlin continued her first quarter form into the second. So I think just West Perth as a whole, with their structure and their shape around the ball, it's hard to pick out one or two, but those couple of players, they've really kept their width well.
Wilkins had a birthday in that quarter. He saw a great goal from here as well. So over to Jeff Hayes too, if you want to wrap up some good players from South Fremantle.
Oh, damn it, because I was just going to say here, and Wilkins definitely for West Perth there, the way they're structuring. For South Fremantle, look, Boothman's been influential in the middle. Strom's done her best. It hasn't been her best game, that's for sure. Rosie, once again, is turning up every now and then, and you know, when she gets near the ball, it's exciting to see what she can do. But really, they've been outpositioned. And when the sort of backline gets forced to release the ball quickly, they end up sort of releasing it to the wall of West Perth players. And that just keeps putting more and more pressure on them. I had 13 inside 50s for West Perth in the last quarter and 5 for South Fremantle.
That shows a real dominance of field positioning, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so 5 goals, 2. The goal kickers are all in the first quarter for both teams. That's Turlin with 2, Price, Thomas and Scott, with O'Hare the single from South Fremantle. South Fremantle built quite nicely at different times, Ben Sharmy.
Yep.
They just weren't able to get that, I guess, that final kick.
Yeah, the connection was good on occasions from South, but once again, just weren't able to get their hands on the footy enough.
West Perth in the room, South Fremantle on the deck. As you can see, Lily Grassinus extracting that footy there. Poppy Stockwell would have been handy today. She's in the red polo. Talking to Emily Boothman. The forwards there have got some work to do. Or is that the midfield group? Perhaps I think it's in the midfield group, which says that Rosie Anderson and Emily Boothman have gone into the midfield, which is a good move from Craig McNaughton. Anything else that he can do, do you think? You two?
Well, he's got to encourage the girls to sort of take their time when they've got it and pick their way through the West Perth players rather than just panic release and cough it up.
Yep, a few hit-up leads, possess the ball for a while, kick mark.
We're seeing great pictures of families, mums, the old dad, and a lot of kids out there kicking the footy and going through their motions. Mum's calling, holding the ball.
Great
on
decision.
The young lad. We're here with front row screens. David Gray's Arena with the grand final of the Rogers Cup. Thanks to all the sponsors, including Optus, the West Coast Eagles, Kia, and of course front row screens who do the job. We're going to have a quick break and bring you all the action of the second half after this.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Rule 1. No internet searching.
New Optus Pause puts the Optus Living Network in your hands. It allows you to pause your Optus mobile and home Wi-Fi connections with one touch. Because sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
What can be broken but can't be held?
It starts with yes.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
We're back here, front row screens, David Gray's Arena, and a bit of dancing and smiling, and why wouldn't you? It's a great game, our game. It's Australia's only Indigenous game. Born and bred here, of course, Marngrook being played by our Aboriginal peoples, our first Australians. Our First Nations people too, been playing Marngrook for about between 60,000 and 100,000 years, so it's nice that all this time later we can have this game brought to you here from Mandurah. And you can see a bit of excitement in the West Perth huddle. They've got one hand on the cup, the Rogers Cup, that is. I keep saying that because I'm sitting next to Charmaine Rogers. It's a great pleasure to have her here. Of course, Jeff Hayes as well. Second half, give us your Nostradamus prediction. First clearance.
West Perth.
West Perth, do you think they're going to be able to hold their structure?
Oh, absolutely. I think they've been extremely well drilled, and yeah, they look very hungry.
And the difficulty is, Jeff, for coaching South Fremantle at the moment, is instilling that belief that our footy's still good. It got us here, and we just need to play our footy really well. In some essence, don't worry about the scoreboard so much. Just play some of our game.
Exactly. Time to play your game, and maybe the nerves were too much. I'll go the other way, and I'll say South Fremantle first clearance.
This is wonderful. This is like Ash Barty serving for the game yesterday. Sharon's has smashed one down the line. And Hazy's got it back. Nicely done.
And just like the peloton last night, Deggers is going to stream round behind us, and he's going to go with the fast wheel, whoever wins.
You're so polite, because that's never happened for me. I might have to be in a car, and it would have to be a faster car than the one you were driving, because I'm not good at that either.
Be a Kia, wouldn't it?
It would be a Kia, of course. I don't work at the Footy Commission anymore.
Well, I came in that Kia today over there.
Oh, I've seen that parked around the place this season. It's a lovely truck. Actually, Bo McDonald was commenting on that, saying that is the car that we should be driving. That's Jeevna here. You can see the breeze is picked up here today. It often is very windy here. You can see her jumper flapping in the breeze, just entering her, or going down into the back 50 here is the player there from South Fremantle, Silcock.
And as we've heard, the breeze is blowing to the forearm end.
Silcock,
also called the southern end.
Thank you, Jeff.
But yeah, it's looking to switch around. So at the moment we've got a sort of northerly breeze. It's looking to switch around towards the northeast and become stronger as the day goes on.
Young Silcock has been a good defender for South Fremantle today. She was in the picture earlier. She had her hands full. So on the ground there is Wilkins getting a handball out, going back inside nicely.
Sharmas gets it.
Was Ebony Jackson, who's been pretty good today. Got it towards number 19 from South Fremantle. Is she on your team sheet? I don't have a 19 on mine. Maybe I read the number wrong.
I haven't got a 19 on mine.
This again is Thomas. She just changes direction and the ball goes probably where Thomas was going to go in the first place. Battling for the footy, there's Kelly. Coming the other way is Thomas. The handball to Jeevna here is a very good one. She gets it over the back. She's trying to find the mud in the square to get that ball to skim on, but just off direction and out of bounds for a throw in the forward pocket. Good start from West Perth.
They'll set up well as they've done all game, I suggest, and keep the ball locked in their forward line.
You can see they've got the wingers out on the far side, and their midfield, some of them are back.
See, even right now, West Perth coach's box really trying to make sure that they're following all the instructions. Didn't want the ruckman in the forward 50. Wanted the forward to chop that out. Meanwhile, just a little throw there is going to hand South Fremantle the chance to exit. So assesses her options.
Number 15.
Holly Denham. She's had her hands full too today. She's been good. And towards McNaughton. Plessy Clements just clipped. This is Turlin, lovely carry. That's a nice strong kick from the breeze. It's as if she knew that bit of high time advantage, but she's got it just to the near side. She really did lift that up into the breeze. She's a really intelligent football, Marley Turlin. She's got fitter and fitter and smarter and smarter. And she's really enjoyed the coaching of Steve Hazel this year in particular. He's got something special out of her. She's turned into a dangerous forward. She's reach, long kick in towards Palomino. She tracks the ball towards the line. She's got contest from Kelly. Throws her down to the ground. Stepping over the line with the footy is Price. Good defence. Following her closely was Paige Silcock. Paige Silcock doing some good things down back today. Bucks had some opportunity though from South Fremantle. Was that stat you read out before about the inside 50s in the second quarter, Jeff?
It was 13 to 5.
Second quarter. And of course the backs involved in all 13 of those, trying to get the ball out. McFarlane. She handballs across to South Fremantle. This ball skips towards the 50. First arrival will be West Perth. Picks up below the knees. Has a little bit of trouble once she does that though. Had a plan, Norbury. Couldn't quite execute it. It's in Turlin's hands now again over the back to reach. Does enough to get it away from Shearing. Shearing's pretty good on the ground, however. Sullivan comes in. Offloaded behind the ball. A couple of tackles without being in possession. I think another players from both sides. Getting a clip on the shoulder on the way past, unfortunately. Just going to give this ball to South Fremantle. Bit of high contact from Kelly. Ball in the hands of South Fremantle player number 18. Fortunately doesn't appear on our team sheet, so we can't say your name despite a couple of good things you've done this quarter. You know who you are. You should feel good inside to know you're playing very well. Intrinsic. Team sheets up in the box today. This ball in the hands of Boothman. Can't quite finish the ball. She can't quite finish the mark there. And Ebony Jackson's basically kicks the ball up the chimney of the lounge room. Lands almost on the top of her head. And a bit of a straggle and a bit of a collapse of the pack right at half forward for West Perth. Game's been an arm wrestle since that first quarter. Only the ground coverage. That's Van der Heever comes through beautifully, and the smother's good too. I think that was.
There's 2 outside runners there.
And this has gone one link to the other. It's Jeevna here who kicks this, gets the handball across and kicks the ball long and in, and it's Holly Morris adds herself to the scoreboard. So fantastic handball received from Holly Morris, and she did the job from 30. That was Jeevna here that constructed that, but Van der Heever was the one that got everything going.
It was great clearance, wasn't it? She just obviously came through with pace and voice through the contest like you try to coach them to do, and got a great result for the team.
The first goal since the first quarter. It's a good one for West Perth, and it's all the time that you spend with your team, making them believe in themselves. Very difficult once the Oppo get the first goal in a game like this one. Kelly was good inside too. Release handball after here had a crack. Sorry, Van der Heever had a crack. Ball back in the centre. What can South Fremantle muster here? Nothing at the moment. Skolodinsky again. Slipping over a couple of different players. In the end, laying on top of it. Pretending they were trying to get rid of it. And the intention, of course, was to skew that footy at half forward for West Perth.
I take it is a bit slippery underfoot out there, Jeff?
Yeah, just underneath the surface. It's still fairly wet before the game. We're hoping it's going to dry off before the major competition at 3:15 today.
Did it rain here yesterday?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be fine yesterday and raining today. Then it became fine for both days. But the rain we've had this week, I think there was 2 40mm deluges. This is Darcy Clements getting back first, using her right foot to clear it. Turland pressures her. Running away with that now, Silcock. First on the outriders, West Perth. Nice and Towie coming in. She's going to get herself a shot here. She handballs unselfishly across to Morris, and Morris could have 2 in a minute. She gets it post height through the middle. She holds the Statue of Liberty torch high above her head and accepts the celebrating crowd. It's not Morris at all. That was Kelly that kicked that one there. Just thought Morris was on the relief, but that was Zara Kelly. She lifted the fist to the air. This is a wonderful run and carry from Megan Norbury. Gets it across to Kelly. And Kelly joins Morris as goal kickers of the third quarter, and I love that finger point. It's wonderful. She's a good player, Zara Kelly.
She could have put 2 up then. Goal number 2.
She could. Kelly kicked the first one as well. I've called her Morris twice.
Yep. She's got 2.
Sorry, Zara. You've kicked 2 in a minute.
Yeah, we had lots and lots of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. The oval was cored on Thursday, and on Friday when we got lots of rain as well. It didn't have any surface water on it, so it was draining out
That's
quite
good.
nicely.
So this fine weather might help as Boothman's given a little free kick away. Touched Wilkins on the shoulder perhaps. Wilkins dominated the second quarter with her width in the game, jumping at the ball beautifully from behind there. The South Fremantle defender in denim. Wrapped up in a tackle now too from West Perth, pleading with the umpire. Just gives a little break as Kelly adds a couple of tackles to her 2 goals. 2 goals in quarter 3. 7 minutes played. All bouncing around at top of 50. No clear possession.
Hatching it, apparently.
Is that what you heard?
Always good to give the free to the defender. If in doubt.
Okay, that's
No attempt.
that is Hughes. Getting the ball long, not knowing what to do with it there. South Fremantle being held a little bit long in the tackle after she lost the football too. She'll get a kick here. South Fremantle get a chance to go forward for the first time in this game. She receives the ball from Lily Grassinas, and that's Del Borello, South Fremantle skipper. Coming up to a run pass for a potential handball. Denham. Ball's long and deep towards Lily Grassinas, who's able to exit this footy. Numbers for the first time in South Fremantle's favour, the forward 50. The Price has put a lot of pressure on. Cleverly sort of working the ball to the line there, the South Fremantle defence. But exactly what she wanted there, Denham.
Rice was did well there to provide that pressure because South had 2 players and she just put that doubt in their mind.
I don't think they quite separated as much as you might have liked them, I guess, from a coaching point of view. It all came to the contest. Henderson covers her own tap, looks to go long. She goes high, camped underneath the ball. West Perth tracks the ball nicely. That's a wonderful quick kick out of defence from South, choosing to paddle rather than pick it up. South Fremantle defence put themselves under pressure. Now in the hands of West Perth as they manufacture a shot through shearing, perhaps. She bumps the ball off the line. She's bumped off the line of the ball, and then a little tap on the toe, goes out of bounds.
It was Scott who got that one just coming off the pack there and got the handball, number 27. She's going to contest this ruck contest.
And a young man, a little paddle instead of a kick.
Might need to develop her left foot skills there.
That's been said of a number of footballers over the journey, male and female.
It's one of my things.
It's one of Bay McDonald's things too, State Academy coach, State 19s coach, works with the 19s boys as well. He wants them all to arrive with left and right foot skills. And isn't that the dream? As Henderson takes a neat intercept mark in the middle of the ground. Under a little bit of pressure coming quickly from behind was Sullivan. Some run from behind from West Perth, but Henderson just chops the ball forward towards Shearing, and Shearing takes a neat catch in the hands. Now Price is ahead of the ball. The goalkeeper's in for South Fremantle. This will go long to Price. Can she take the catch overhead? No, but she gets a little nick on it. Actually beats the goalkeeper and then in Hannah Young and goes through for a behind. West Perth with all the scoring and all the forward 50 entry and most of the ground.
Yes, they really have not let off at all, have they, in this third quarter. I thought that South Fremantle were going to come out and really make a show of it, but they really haven't been in the same standard as West Perth so far in this quarter.
Chelsea Harp, nice mark. The kick's okay towards the top of 50s, a 2v1 for South Fremantle. Can't quite get her hands on it. Nice spoil from Van der Heever. This finds in the hands of Del Borello. She's pulled off the football. To Palomino, to Harp. Harp's kicks to a nest of West Perth fans and taking the mark, Kolodinsky, and playing on immediately. Long to Price, who takes this one overhead on Denham.
Out of position, just taller and leapt well at that ball.
Well, Denham did some good defensive work. She realised she was out of position. She fought for the front spot.
Yep.
She just lost contact with her player, and then she tried to find contact with her player. She lost tracking of the ball, and Price with a neat catch over the back. Alyssa Price, one in the first. Breeze at her back to the forum end or southern end. The ball drop's interesting, but the strike is perfect. And she calls for the hoop herself. Now she's in the flex. She's going through a full range of celebrations, Alyssa Price, and that's a neat kick for goal.
Lovely kick. It did look, looking at the wind on her jumper there, it does appear that it's picked up considerably since the start of the game.
The girls do us a favour with the ponytails. It often replaces the old windsock at the grounds. See which way the wind is blowing just by the ponies. Much called a game this year at South Fremantle. Before at the centre stoppage to start the game, everyone's ponies were horizontal. It was pretty easy to see at South Fremantle which way the wind's blowing, but at South Fremantle it's always blowing the same way. Does the same here at Peel. Close to the southern end.
Well, the other thing, the windsock has definitely sort of increased its angle, so it's definitely picked up using the other adage.
Hopefully they can drop away for the lead game. This ball from West Perth going inside the forward 50 again. Water boy there running hard to exit the stoppage. He could have got a possession pretty easily then. Farland's pick up the footy there, below the knees. South Fremantle let it bounce. Eventually to Denham. She's run over and she's been pushed in the back. Denham's been busy.
She has been. One of South's best today, I think.
So with number 15, if anyone knows who she is, perhaps you could text me.
Number 15? Number 18.
18?
Oh, it's number 15 for South Fremantle. Just
South
got the
Fremantle.
ball.
Yeah, that's Holly Denham.
There you go.
No, she's been busy, Holly Denham, today, but it's 18, the one I'm struggling with. Or West Perth, I think it is. West Perth now with the footy at the top. That is Marley Turland. She's from 45. She's a lovely kick at the footy, but she won't carry the distance from here, so potentially a layup. Henderson, a late lead. She does lay it up beautifully, lifts it up into the sky. It's going to bounce in the square. It comes back towards the bowler, unfortunately, and then it takes an off break, a leg break, through for a point. Dangerous kick. She's such a beautiful kick at the footy, Marley Turland. Kick in from Harp. Jeevna here comes in, crashes the pack. O'Hare's the only goal kicker for South Fremantle. She stood her ground in defence for South Fremantle. This is Darcy Clements' kick. She is looking for the line. It's not touched and goes over. West Perth did a fantastic team-looking effort in trying to keep that in Ebony Jackson, but it's your kick, Eb. She just tried to make sure that she making some friends at South Fremantle. Put that back in after it rolled off. Everyone's a winner. Jackson plays on And unfortunately, before the umpire had called, you've played on. Palomino has actually broken the mark. She should stop running now too, because a second 50 would guarantee this. And that's going to be a second 50. No, the umpire's just cleared her out. Both umpires there. That's sanity prevails. Just got a blood up, Palomino. Meanwhile, Ebony Jackson plays on around, left footer. She goes
to improve the angle.
To improve the angle, and then kick across her body to decrease the angle. She has got a goal today. She doesn't have a goal today, does she? Ebony Jackson. She's done some good work through the midfield, so probably unfamiliar territory for her. The defensive exit from South Mantle's found the chest in the pocket. The lifted kick's all right too. Ball's in the hands of Silcock. Can't complete the catch. It's Wilkins tracking the ball. Jeevna here at the front of the pack. Holly Denham in the sweeper's position, but held without the footy. Under that one is Silcock. Liked her game.
She's had a bit to do back there, hasn't she? All the South defenders, unfortunately, been under the pump today.
He may be playing on once or twice too many times, but her endeavour's been super. This is Hughes. Just tosses her opponent out of the pack. Little kick forward. It's going to fall on the chest of Kolodinsky, who's got some really good ground coverage for a young player. She really does hold up. This is a wonderful kick too to here. Can't quite hold her spot. Running away nicely here. I think that's Young, Hannah Young. Ball comes towards Van der Heever. Emily Boothman coming off the bench is a nice change. That was the ruckman in Whitelaw. Tracking the ball nicely now. It's West Perth. Boothman finds it at the back of the pack. She'll have a little assessment. Not coming to her was Shearing. Flies over the back. Lily Grassinas can't quite get her hands on it. Shoveled forward under pressure. Bulldogs. This is Grassinas again. Just never gives up working, Grassinas. Back feed's good. Just trying to find a kick in the corridor through Henderson. Can't quite get her. Misses. No, McNaughton goes through her hands. Now they've generated the run. Jackson in the end surrenders that ball forward. Didn't quite get on the end of a run. No, McNaughton composed enough to beat one tackle, then two. The kick's good. Interfering with each other in the end, South Fremantle. This ball's kicked forward. Owning the side, owning that part pitch of the ground is Megan Norbury, though she's stripped to the footy on the far side. Going to 50 now. Turning inside out. That was player in South Fremantle. South Fremantle shovel the ball over top again. West Perth have got the goalkeeper in, so this will have to go over her head. Works back to that goalkeeper now. She steps outside the play and just finds a little connection in the back pocket. South Fremantle still in this. They can track the ball. She does track the ball well. Picks up eventually. Handball's back to Boothman. More than a chance from here, Boothman. She gets this to slide across the face of goal and it lands on the chest.
You saw the influence of the wind there with that ball.
Yeah, really opened up, didn't it? And that was a good defensive mark from West Perth. 1 minute to play in this last quarter. Neat little connection too. Building nicely again. This is Megan Norbury. To 50's an untidy one. Ask the question of Porter. She's up to the challenge, at least physically. Wilkins. Anderson tries to strip through in the last minute. The kick's a good one, but it falls in the hands of West Perth. Can't quite gather this one up. Grassinas turns up. 37 seconds in the right place for a South Fremantle score. Well, the umpire see this one. He'll ball it up. 30 seconds to play. Full forward for South Fremantle. Good players from South Fremantle around this footy. Eleanor Pinner there. Tap goes through, and the snap's marked on the line. Well, she plays on. Maybe it wasn't 15. The exit's okay, and the exit should be enough here just to keep South Fremantle from scoring. Worked off the football nicely by Jackson. Siren will sound. The alarm's going off all through the box here. In both coaches' box and ours as well. The siren sounds to end the third quarter, which really was all West Perth. I think South Fremantle played very well late.
Yes.
But
late in that quarter, but West Perth might be more than one hand on that cup at the moment, I think, Degs.
Yeah, it's a long way back here for young sides.
Get the ribbons out.
Yep.
And start to change the colours. It's a wonderful quarter from West Perth. You can see South Fremantle need to just stay alive in this contest. They're a slightly younger side, I think, on paper, and they're just learning their way under the new coach to get to grand finals. A wonderful effort for them. Of course, last year's premiership winners. We're at three-quarter time with West Perth leading 8-6-54. Just a 1-goal 2-8 to South Fremantle. You're here on Front Row Screens. We'll wrap that quarter up and predict the next after the break here at Front Row Screens.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Rule 1. No internet searching.
New Optus Pause puts the Optus Living Network in your hands. It allows you to pause your Optus mobile and home Wi-Fi connections with one touch, because sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
What can be broken but can't be held?
It starts with yes.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Back here at David Gray's Arena, former Rushton Park in Mandurah. Put on a fantastic day for us down here. The weather is exactly what we ordered. Cool now and warming towards the grand final today. Of course, Peel and Swan Districts in the big one today at 3:45 on Channel 7. Whereas I think it's Peel and East Fremantle in the Regis game, which begins at 12:45. As for me, my afternoon involves my second Pfizer shot and then some time on the couch. We're in the South Fremantle box. Sorry, we're in the South Fremantle dugout as Craig McNaughton's just asking his players. You can see there, just hold on. Just make a good account of yourself, Charmaine Rogers, and make sure you can come off a bit proud of your efforts.
Well, regardless of what happens, you know, you just got to stay the course, don't you?
Yep.
Full credit to Souths. You know, they won the Rogers Cup Grand Final last year, elevated a number of players into their league team, which is what the pathway's all about.
Seeing the goals highlights now, this is Alyssa Price playing advantage. I think the umpiring decision had no effect on what would have happened in that little passage of play. This is, again, Alyssa Price to Turl, and it gets it from the kick-off line. Nicely done, no flex for that one. It's a little flex for this one. This is her second in the first quarter. Gets this one in. She's pretty happy with that kick. Yep, she gives it a bit of the old Leighton Hewitt. This one, wonderful handball over towards Shearing. Again, links up there with her teammate in Thomas, who gets the snag. Again, wonderful extraction. And a long ball in from Scott. And she gives us the double pump, which we're after, that's for sure. Tap forward now. And this is O'Hare from South Fremantle getting the one and only goal today. Nice to see them add to that in the last quarter before Kelly put on a clinic in the third quarter. This is Zara Kelly getting one. She's pretty happy with that one. This is a wonderful extraction from West Perth. And a good kick here too. That was almost repeated the same, a little bit further out, and she was more happy with that one because you can see the full flex before Price gets the last one. This is number 8 for West Perth. Just allows for the breeze, and then she just hails a cab, or she statues a liberty. It was wonderful.
Look, football is always a test of character, no matter whether you're on the winning side or the losing side. You get out there, you represent your club, you do your best, and you try to give, like you said, a good account of yourselves. I'm sure South Fremantle are going to come out and try to enjoy it. Of course, there would be 6 other teams who would be more than happy to come out here, and these guys have definitely earned their position, and they should be enjoying themselves and be very proud of the season that they've put together.
We all want to win. There's no doubt about
course.
that, and that's what they're playing for.
Yep.
But this is a decent position to be in for South Fremantle now, because now you can actually have some fun because it doesn't matter. So go out there, enjoy yourself, play your own game, get a couple of kicks, get some connections, and let's regroup. Let's reflect on what is a very good season and build towards 2022, where they'll be bigger and stronger.
Absolutely.
Hey. was going to say, take nothing away from West Perth. They've been magnificent today, and they're not a whole lot older by demograph. When you have a little look at their team, they're going to be a good team for a number of years. Just a couple of 18-year-olds they'll lose to their senior side in 2022, but they've been super today.
And the wildebeest are migrating down to the left-hand side there in the background.
You just picked that up on the back, last sort of pictures of the screen there. As we hone in on the bullseyes here at David Gray's. And we'll get to go at it again. Whitelaw from South Fremantle. Good tap down right-hander into the quagmire, which might have been a lot nastier last weekend than this.
Lovely leap.
Yeah, she's got nice timing too.
Yep. She's
been jumped against by Holly Morris here, I think. Tap down to Van der Heever. She pops it back to Morris, and Morris just gets the ball inside 50. Jeevna here, the speedster, in front of her. She goes to tap rather than possess, although she's got her hands head and shoulders over it. Kelly, the goal kicker, multiple goal kicker, lurking. Marley Turlin rounds the back of the stoppage. They've got great shape, as Charmaine called earlier. Great shape around the ball. It's a traditional C shape to goal. This kick goes across. A couple of jumping number 22s out there, but it's just my eyes, I think. That kick went across the ground from Ebony Jackson. Has been very busy in the last half. Speaking of busy, this lady's got a bit of leather pausing today. No, McNaughton. She'll be very frustrated. Super competitive young person. That's the player we were talking about before, Jeff, number 18 from South, who's been pretty good. We don't have her name on the team sheet, so apologies to her and her family. On the far side's Del Borello. She's swamped by West Perth players. And a little push in the back's called by the umpire that had a good view from our side of the game. And Del Borello, the skipper, the free kick, putting her head and shoulders over the ball. She flat punts this one towards Van der Heever. Gee, I think Van der Heever looks like the type of player that whatever sport you gave her, she'd be good at it. And super competitive. I think you'd be challenging her a game of pool, and she'd beat you. Meanwhile, I think we've got a 50 here because the ball was given back in an aggressive fashion and not to the player. This is not what South Fremantle need. Looks like Lily Grassinis. She's in uncharted territory here. She's a staunch defender. She was hoping for a slightly bigger 50, I think. She pops this ball up to her dangerous forwards. The ball is dropped in the end by South Fremantle. It falls in the hands of Van der Heever, who gets it shallow, although she's been held off the ball potentially.
But that's a shorter 50 as opposed to a longer 50.
There is such a thing in footy, isn't there?
Yes.
And we don't have the luxury of having the cut grass at 8 metre intervals so you can count your way, or the 10 metre intervals so you can count your way. Here at David Gray's, we're lucky to have grass after the 2 weeks we've had. Van der Heever runs into a goal. Flat punt, doesn't carry. Looks like it's touched off the line or kicked off the line. It couldn't have been that way. That's just heartbreaking for South Fremantle. They did all the work to get the ball touched, then just tapping it over the line from the kickoff line. I'd have to see it again. The umpire is involved here.
We're going to have a conference.
We're going to go to the Arc. It's not really funny, is it?
Well,
I don't like the Arc.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like the Arc. Trust the umps. The four-way conference now. There's a fieldy, a boundary, and a goal umpire. And the time is running here. So this is unfortunate. Got a replay of that. I still didn't get who quite kicked it.
Didn't quite get the full replay there.
Was that... is it Shearing that got the tap off?
Front row screen's got their version
the
of the
rewind
arc
button going.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the umpires don't have a line to this.
That's right, they don't.
That is a goal.
There we go.
So after having a look at front row screens replay a couple of times, it's touched there, touched again, falls into the hands. Is that Chloe Shearing, who steps back and taps it over the line? Now we just have to confirm that is Shearing. It is Chloe Shearing, I think. And Shearing gets her first. She's been instrumental in a couple of goals. There's a goal assist. She gets her first in quarter 4 of the Rogers Cup Grand Final. The Optus WAFLW competition. It's been wonderful, hasn't it, over the last couple of years?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic how female football has progressed in this state.
It's the torch was being bared and was being carried by a lot of people that didn't get recognition for a lot of time. And then finally, Footy Commission decided to basically get their passions and visions into a competition. And now, those players like yourself, Shami, who carried that torch for so long, just get to sit back and watch these young players get what you didn't get. As Norbury tries to go forward again for West Perth after some good work from South Fremantle. what you weren't able to do, which was to play a full pathway through and full support and televised, and it's just wonderful these kids get the chance.
Fantastic.
I know our older players, Charmaine, don't feel bad about that. They feel good about it.
Absolutely, because it's where it needs to be.
I know my wife included says, I wish this was available to me when I was younger. Of course, once you're 46, WAFLW's probably past you by about 20 years.
I'm sure Giselle will be happy about that.
Because our best players are very young in our league competition. What would you say, Jeff? Would you say our best players are 19 to 24?
They are, and they're putting their hands up to be drafted. And we saw with the All-Australian team announced the other day for the 19s competition. We had a couple of Peel representatives there, and both of them very young players.
Yes, and of course Tuakarona from South Fremantle, who's old enough to be playing in this competition. Played league all year. Rosie Anderson just shows what she can do. The Narrogin product, pulls the ball over the shoulder. She gets here through the Stephen Michael Foundation, the wonderful work that they do through that area of the wheat belt, trying to extract the footy nicely. Fierce pressure from South Fremantle in the end. The handball was okay from West Perth, and they'll go forward now. Intercept mark is good from O'Hare, who's been there and abouts today. That was Emma Lifford doing that work before. Good mark there from O'Hare. Ball, the kick doesn't really have any South Fremantle representation underneath it. Getting a little push was Lily Grassinus, and she looked pleadingly at the umpire, who agreed. Grassinus, kick to Price. Price might have run a bit of a blue rinse through the hair to run a bit of West Perth colour.
I was just going to say that'll be the red and blue, wouldn't it?
With the red and blue mix. That would make purple, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah.
I remember my primary school art days. 104 years ago. Henderson and Whitelaw. Been good today in the ruck. The pair of them. All over the back. South Fremantle trying to paddle this ball forward. Been playing for 6 minutes. It's Thomas again. She's had a good day. Back towards Kelly. For a teammate. Handball splits very good to Shearing. Just kicked a goal a moment ago. She keeps this ball nice and low. 15 years of age. She thinks her way through things really well. She had to keep that low to the teeth of the breeze, and she did. Hits the post, and that's out of bounds. Although South Fremantle player down there wants to kick it in. She won't be allowed to. And drop eventually returns. Such a well thought out kick. I know there's an argument to be getting the ball in the air there, but I think she had to keep that low.
Well, absolutely, because she's going into the breeze as well. So
pretty much in the teeth from there too, isn't it? Like the way she thinks. 15 years of age. Price in the ruck. It's bundled over in the hands of West Perth. Rugby league style tackle. A couple of players are turning to face the umpire. It's called for a ball up. That was Whitelaw making the signal for it's mine. she wants another jump. She wants another hit out stat. Well done, young lady. She does get one too. Clear hit out. Tries to follow up. It's Henderson that picks up the ball in the end though. She gets a possession. Marley Turlin, you can see the skills on display. She tried to rake that ball in one-handed and was able to do so. Not sure the prior opportunity she had, but it's fair enough. Good tackle from Darcy Clements. Clements made her way back from a series of injuries this year. It's great to see her playing again. Ball's running behind the plate. This is Wilkins again. Just controlled the wing today.
She has, hasn't she? She's played that position very well.
Her kick's chopped off. Gives Boothman and Grassinus a chance. Grassinus just does enough to shove the ball forward to elude Boothman. It's Wilkins again. Wilkins again, though. Same result, perhaps. No, it doesn't come with the football this time. It's Jackson again. Ebony Jackson.
Holding the man, sorry. Player.
Pulled off the footy, yeah. Holding the human. This is Del Borello. Efforts have been good today. Kick's okay. Trying to find an outrunner. Playing there again, the speedster in Megan Norbury. Ties the ball up Anderson. She gets the surging kick out. It's gone all 45, 47 metres. A couple of volleyball taps. Its reach has gone forward, but the goalkeeper is in again from West Perth. And you don't like to see that at training. It's good intelligent play if you've got an outnumber to be able to drop off. It's a safe catch and play on.
They just need a bit more composure around the half-forward line at South Fremantle.
Some deep representation as well, perhaps. Rosie Anderson. It's blocked out in the end by a teammate. Running on the far side is that speedster again. I like the look of her. Megan Norbury. Rectangular players behind the contest now where this ball is. It's going to go back where there's no representation, except for West Perth. Here's Van der Heever. She turns inside, steps through the traffic. She eludes two tacklers and uses her opposite foot. Can't quite get connected. In the way was Boothman, but it gets to Wilkins, and in the turn, in the hands of the running Jackson. Price spoiled nicely at half-back. A little tumbling ball off the shin. Bending over to pick it up is Clever. Trying to spin through. This is Emily Boothman. Ball jars free. Kicked off the ground. Not a bad
Nice
decision
connection.
in the end, and she really did thump it. Turning her play nicely here. South Fremantle can't quite take the footy with her. Grassiness just works her off the football. It was good play by Young. Just couldn't take the ball with her. Great chase by Hughes. South Fremantle still playing this game out as Jeff Hayes had said they would. Lost the ball in the tackle and will be rewarded. South Fremantle can take a bit of energy and a bit of, well, I think Jeff was talking about character earlier. Character to be still running and chasing this game is nice. This kick is unfortunately intercepted. It falls onto the chest of Garlett. Garlett's little kick's going to be okay to Wilkins. Wilkins, that footy nearly dropped on a seagull on the way down. Hard whistle on the play. Just bring Emily Boothman back. Has to move it on now. Wilkins kicks to a nest. Sitting there nicely was Silcock. She couldn't complete the catch from the pressure from behind, which came from Ebony Jackson.
Nice smother too.
Good smother again. Trying to get the ball going forward is Norton. Running away with it, West Perth.
Third effort there from number 24, Roper.
It's Jessica Roper. Her and her sister play at West Perth. Rosie Anderson. Don't argue, but the tackle is very good
Got the hands away there
from
nicely.
Thomas. Again, Norbury. Tackle's okay from Tananoff. A high one on Hughes. Goes unwhistled. Anderson shoving the ball forward. We're 11 minutes to play. All kinds of alarms going off in the boxes up here. Made me panic. Reach is playing forward. A bit of an influence too. Extracting the ball nicely. West Perth get to clear towards the wing. And guess who is out there? And here she goes again. Norbury. Clever handball. This time didn't need to use the afterburners. She just got connected. The ball hit towards the corridor. Unfortunately, Whitelaw tapped that back down to the run of West Perth. It's thrown off the footy in the end.
Nice mark.
And once again, that's Ebony Jackson. Not an intercept, that was a kick in from Ebony Jackson. Mark was terrific. That was from a South Fremantle defender. Chelsea Hart going back for a fair bit of play. Henderson in the meantime is going along into forward line 50. Alyssa Price taps it. She's 3-on-1. Wrapped off the footy here nicely. In the end, the tackle's pretty good. She goes under it. Del Morello's down to help out. You can see Hart there as well. Holly Denton will be lurking somewhere.
So, Degs, you mentioned earlier that you're no longer at the Footy Commission. So, would you like to fill us in on the next chapter?
Yeah, I've joined the West Coast Eagles this week. Started on Monday. The next chapter continues in youth engagement with a focus on Aboriginal and female players.
Fantastic.
It's exciting to be at West Coast. I knew they were a good place to be, but I want to treat you wonderfully well when you go on board. To see the suit guy on Tuesday.
Yep.
You've got a suit guy. Pretty impressed with anyone that has a suit guy.
Based in the metro area, Dex?
You're based in the metro area for now, and
Yep.
the rest of the news will be coming out shortly about what's next and
Yep.
where it is. Some regional stuff as Rosie Anderson, regional player herself, tries to work the ball through, and the umpire on the far side just tugs this in. Yeah, a bit of regional work.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm up and about for, though. Yeah. No ruck really has a decision on this. The ball's bouncing around. Fierce tackle there from Anthony. Rosie Anderson's up and about in the last quarter. She's done for kicking in danger.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. I think she had every right to just toe poke that. I
Yeah.
don't think it was a dangerous swing. I think it was a little toe poke, but you got to call how you see it. It's as simple
Exactly.
as that. If you see it, you got to call it.
It was the right idea, wasn't it, to try and get it into space so that she could run onto it.
It's Holly Morris, who's kicking this game's been intercepted, but she's been good in the ruck today as an undersized ruck. It's a resultant kick from South Fremantle. It's gone over the top, and Grassiness gives herself a look at it. Always running as a defender, Grassiness. She gets this now. The handball's okay. Ooh. Unfortunately, just grabbed a little high. There was Jessica Roper.
Cool.
She'll get a free kick.
A little bit of ponytail in that as well.
Yeah, it's not. I know. it's been described to me. I did have a ponytail many, many years ago, but you've got no control when someone's got hold of your hair.
No.
And it's a dangerous position to be in. Of course, you get the girls panic a little bit. Anyone that's got long hair will panic a little bit once they've got their hair grabbed. So it can be a very dangerous thing. Not intentional at all. And South Fremantle cleverly plays on inside the man on the mark, or the human on the mark. It's a messy play. Some tired footballers. One side about to. Next couple of minutes we'll get some joys. No, McNaughton puts this ball inside 50. The run here from Young's been good. Her ball handling hasn't been great all day. She gets a chance at a shot, and you can see from her chance at a shot. You can see from her body language that she wasn't entirely comfortable with the way that it struck her foot. A lot to work with though. As a small, fast-paced player that likes to keep the ball in front of her.
Love the way that she just twisted the hips when the tackle was approaching, just to break it.
Is there a bit of rugby? It looks like a bit of rugby in her, or definitely a bit of basketball in her.
Yep.
But a lot to work with there, young Hannah Young. Not sure the torpedo was what she was after from the top of the square. Kick in from West Perth. It's chopped off by Boothman. Boothman's usually good in this situation. She looked for a runner, didn't have one. Maybe a shot would have been okay from her as Morris clears, but only as far as South Fremantle. Player have set up a nice ball with Tananeff. Her kick's careful and measured. Falls into the space behind. This is Roper running away from Young. Young catches her in the end. Backs the kick. On the far side with the speedsters. Can't find any room at the moment towards the boundary line. In the end, that's holding the ball. Had a long time in the tackle. That is Chelsea Hart. She wants that ball back. West Perth really careful to make sure it gets back nicely. This is Hart, worked all the way up from the defensive side. So nice big press here from South Fremantle, which is legal in this form of play. Kick forward towards Price. Will work if she can take the catch, and she takes a neat safety in front of her eyes. A little switch on, she finds Rosie Anderson closing, but it's very good, clever enough to take this on the chest on the far side. Was Kolodensky. Playing on dangerously in the end, but beautifully was Norbury. She gets to take some grass off the far side, steps inside. She beats Rosie Anderson, which is not easy to do. Long kick in, coming back with courage there. The South Fremantle defence in. Young again.
That was another good example of how that ball held up in the breeze.
This is Kelly, ever dangerous in the forward 50. She's kicked the ball to the far side. It's Clements that takes a safety at fullback. With a minute to play in the grand final. There's two full hands on the cup here. No chance for Souths, and West Perth have been beautiful from go to woe. South Fremantle have been braved and can stand on their character, that's for sure, as they bring the ball in from the back goal square, paddling the ball forward rather than taking it. This is Wilkins again. She looks for it. Inside kick, there's nothing available. Van der Heeber's worked up. Attempted block from Henderson. She's on the ground when she receives the handball. She stands up and kicks it forward. Wonderful work to Kelly. Chance to score for one last time for West Perth. 26 seconds to play. Long ball in. Lots of South Fremantle players. Jeevna here at the back. She can't quite get away. Price. Can she finish her Rogers Cup days as an 18-year-old with a goal in the grand final? She has.
Sure
and she's got a couple. Wonderful work and a wonderful finish for a player that will be exited into senior football in 2022. She's a long learning journey. The siren has gone and the West Perth have streamed on, and only just beating him out there, the players, Dave Burton, who's really feeling for this, the other runner too in the Silks. Burton's jogging down to talk to his forwards, and West Perth are the champions in 2021 WAFLW ROGERS Cup, and they will be handed a cup with ROGERS written on it, which of course is your name, Charmaine.
It is indeed, and I'm getting the hurry up to move downstairs and present some medals to the West Perth girls.
Well, we'll let you go. We'll wrap up the game in your absence, and we'll probably try and say some funny stuff about when you're down there.
Thanks, guys.
Brilliant, Charmy. Great to have you, legend of WA footy, particularly in the female side. Of course, coaches her son's team and has done for a number of years, and works equally hard in the male space as well. She's an equal opportunist. Football, absolute tragic. There's a couple of them in the box up here. Jeff Hayes is very much the same. You see the celebrations here in the huddle for West Perth, and it's been a little while since some silverware's headed to Joondalup. The last, I think, silverware was when Ashton Hill was playing in a reserves game. Of course, Ashton plays at the West Coast Eagles, having come through East Fremantle's league side at the establishment of the WAFLW competition. And that is the last time that some silverware has gone West Perth's way.
Look, it's thoroughly deserved. West Perth have had a fantastic season. They finish with 15 wins, no losses and 1 draw from the season with their 2 finals wins. They really have been a standout performer all year, and I think they've been a very short-priced favourite today.
Yeah, you probably didn't predict such a big margin in the game with the 10 goals, and the 10 goals in ROGERS Cup is exceptional. And something that the Swan Districts Footy Club through Adam Dancy said, there's no problem with us kicking 10 goals if we play direct footy. I know the stoushes that they've had against Peel haven't been as big as that. They've been sort of 6 and 7 goal affairs each. And the last game, of course, there's only 2 goals in the game in that horrible day where there was
no one could find the major opening there.
But 10 goals in a game of sort of underage footy is wonderful. And this is just what it shows is the skill development, the focus on skill acquisition, the focus on some structure and some education is allowing the players to really play well. So that's 16 scoring shots to 4. It's probably representative of the game today. South's got the ball inside 50 more than the scoreboard shows, but we weren't able to get the ball deep enough. And of course, West Perth structure is very good behind the ball too. So we're inside the huddle. Celebrations will be long, I think, at West Perth.
This is one of the things that women's football does. The girls always get together at the end of the game. Normally the call is there to mix it up, where we have one from each team and the other, and the 2 captains have a few words and sort of say thanks to each other and good on you girls, and it's a very collegiate thing.
It used to happen in male footy, of course, a long time ago, but male footy became very combative or adversarial, and female football's retained respect for the game and each other. Long shall it happen for mine, because you can be as fierce as you like against each other. Once that game's done, respect for each other's efforts, and you can see there they haven't mixed up as much. It's likely because the South Fremantle girls need to be together, and likely the West Perth girls want to be together. So you can understand why they haven't mixed it up 1 for 1. South Fremantle will be reeling a little bit from that one.
You mentioned the sort of the changes that have happened over the last couple of years. I mean, I was at the lights near my house the other day, and I reflected upon this as 2 girls rolled up on bikes, both of them at 11 or 12. Both of them wearing footy shorts.
Yep.
And the local area is the Secret Harbour Dockers, and they've got the purple shorts with the pink trim around it. And I sort of looked at that and thought, wow, that would not have happened even sort of 10 or 15 years ago.
Well, I was in City Beach for a meeting this week gone, and there was 2 kids walking down the street bouncing the footy, which you've seen 100 times, 1,000 times, or 1,000,000 times, and they were both girls. It was wonderful, just having a little bounce of the footy as they walked around their local streets, which is it's a no-brainer that girls are going to take up the greatest game in the world in droves, and then get good at it once you practice, of course. So,
and it's fantastic that it's fantastic the Footy Commission has chosen to recognise Charmaine in this fashion, to name the competition after her, because of course she's done a power of work for the Football Commission, for WAFLW, for Western Australian Women's Football League as well, in a sort of previous incantation before that. And yeah, for us to be out there now playing in a ROGERS Cup competition, it really is a pleasure for us to sort of coach, watch, and I know for the girls to play as well, to have that top level of underage football available for the girls in our state.
Absolutely, and as you said, ROGERS was a key driver of the old competition. She was vice president. I've got a text message here from Bo McDonald, the State Academy coach. He says, geez, West Perth had the Weet-Bix this morning. Yeah, they did too. I had some fruit and some protein powder on them as well. Yeah, she was a vice president, long-term vice president, competition coordinator for the WAFLW. And of course, was a key advisor to the establishment, of the WAFL.
Yep.
And then she was
WAWFL.
And she was a key advisor to the establishment of the WAFLW competition. So it's nice to see that the Footy Commission, for the most part, has really tried to recognise the history and the people that made, for 30 years, enabled females to play in WA, particularly in Perth, which was the WAFLW competition.
And I can tell you that she was a member of the first schoolgirls football advisory committee, which was formed to start up the schoolgirls football team in competition in Western Australia in 1991. And
First ever, it's usually the first ever WA women's side.
There you go.
Playing the national champions, that is. Wearing the song at West Perth. Staff, coaches, parents around the circle. We're going down to Dave Lindsay, who's usually in the commentary box here. He's the master of ceremonies today before having the call with on Channel 7. He's providing impossible information to give to a crowd of people that are not listening, which is put your masks on or get 1.5 metres away from each other. The crowd is actually responding to those instructions, which is awesome. Youth football and talent football in WA. Wonderful on her wing throughout, particularly through the second quarter. Her fight around the contest was very good, Jeff.
So many intercept marks as well. South Fremantle were trying to clear it. She was just right in the right place all the time.
I would suggest that she did exactly what her coach asked her to do today. So nice to see some tears from her in the grand final.
I think leather poisoning is the phrase we're looking for.
She's to go straight back up and take her premiership medal. Goal was very good across the game today as well. It was just a little surprise package. Intercept marking and extracting kicking was very good. No return, I think, was solid from go to woe today.
2 goals.
Staunch defender, West Perth Footy Club. At different times. She was asked to do her job. She was able to do that today, like a number of her teammates. I guess I was right today.
Yes.
Did pretty well. Oh, and her game today with the handball receive on her back, getting up and kicking the 450, which got that last goal. Kelly, 2 goals in a minute.
It was a moment, and that was the 2 very quickly linked together moments. We family well represented today.
Yeah, Teresa Price as well. She was very important.
3 goals.
Beats them, make it more good. If you check, there you go. Very good in the second half, haven't he?
Another one very young, born in 04.
What's Chloe?
Chloe is born in 06.
I'm sure going forward, 15 years old.
Goal.
Put in at different times today, she was very important.
She was one of my favourites at 28. He suffered a bit of a knee injury by the looks of this.
Just a pork in that joint. Got clear and get it going.
That fast start today was very important for them to just get that dominance asserted nice and early and make their statement that they're here to win this game. I think they took a lot of the wind out of the Bulldogs' sails.
Yeah, they were solid across four corners today. They had basically dominated the best players on the ground. I think they were well structured. I think both you and Sharman made that call during the game. Yeah. The scariest thing today really is that mascot from the West Perth Footy Club who is joining in the celebrations. That's wonderful pictures brought to you by Front Row Screens. You can see the Cardinal being dragged out by the yard to let the girls have their fun. Some direction being given to them too as they need to take their photos and start their celebrations. It's a wonderful little piece of silverware that's heading to Joondalup. The West Perth Footy Club, Nelson Marsden hopping around with that trophy. It'd be nice to see a couple of girls link arms with her and give her a little lift off the ground. She's going to hop off though. She's a one tough cookie. We Are the Champions plays out across the ground. Last time I heard that was at West Perth. In fact, when Peel Thunder had won the league premiership over Subiaco in 2020, the shortened but still very exciting season after the COVID interruptions, and we've got that to look forward to too. Reserves game, of course, starts at 12:45. That is East Fremantle versus Peel. Already won the bid before Peel had got into the grand final, and of course they did it in the league grand final too. So the big one today on Channel 7 is at 3:45. It is Peel Thunder playing against the Swan Districts Footy Club. I won't ask you for a tip, Jeff Hayes, because you'll either say exactly what I think you say or you'll upset all your colleagues. But the big one for us today in the Rogers Cup is that West Perth are champions in 2021, something that they've actually worked for 3 years. When I went down to see them play 3 years ago, the focus was totally on skill acquisition. They were just learning to kick. They were just doing everything, all the fundamentals really, really well. Hats off to Steve Hazel and his team, to Dave Burton and all the decision makers down at West Perth for going all in with this Rogers Cup team. I know that Tracy Gallagher will be very proud of herself and her team's efforts as well. Hats off to West Perth. You can see smiling Dave Burton in the pink silks just going across. He's taken some photos of some of his favourite players and himself, and he'll get them signed later on. We are here at David Gray's and we're just about to sign off with Front Row Screens. I just want to say a very quick thank you to all the team at Front Row Screens. Wonderful to work with you this year. You can see some highlights as we go out. It's been terrific fun working with Matt and his team in the box and the truck. They're always funny, they're always humorous, they're super helpful and super professional, and they've delivered our game to everybody on the Facebook stream throughout this year. Thanks very much to you guys for having us along. To Jeff Hayes today, wonderful comments. Thanks for having you. Good luck for this afternoon.
Thanks very much.
And the Charmaine Rogers, of course, who had to exit the box early to go and present the medals alongside her cup, named in her honour for all her work. From the team at the WA Footy Commission, from David Gray's Arena, Peel Footy Club, it's thank you very much for all of you who had an impact or an influence on the game and the telecast this year. Hope you enjoyed what Front Row Screens were able to do. Bigger and better again next year, I'd imagine, in 2022. Thank you to the team, and thank you for a great game of footy out here today. This is Clint Degerbrot and Jeff Hayes for Charmaine Rogers saying thanks very much. See you next year.
This WAFLW live stream is brought to you by Optus, proud partner of the WAFL and WAFLW. The West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams. Kia, proud partner of the WAFLW. This is Kia. Simply Energy, supporting WA Footy's talent pathway.